The question I'd like to talk about today is, did the Buddha really exist? And if so, what evidence do we have? If you talk about a practical level, at the practical level, you could say there is scientific historical evidence that the Buddha existed. Since the beginning of the 20th century, we have found evidence in the form of edicts written by Asoka, Emperor Asoka, who lived after the time of the Buddha, and he left several edicts behind. And these edicts, they provide evidence that the Buddha actually existed. And even though this emperor, he lived after the time of the Buddha, the time that had passed was not so much, probably just a few centuries. So the evidence in this sense is quite strong. Also, there's other findings that are attributed to as honoring the Buddha, or a gift or something to the Buddha, which have been found, and these are also dated back to the time of the Buddha. Several of these findings are quite recent, actually. This is at the secular level, at the level of science, which shows that actually the Buddha was a historical person. However, this question has in fact already been asked in Buddhism. There is one later text called the Questions of Milinda, in which this question is also asked. To summarize, you could say that the Buddha's answer to this would be that if you practice the teachings of the Buddha and you understand, you will notice, you will feel how it benefits your life. That is your evidence. That is the best evidence. You could get all the best minds of the world, the best scientific minds, to come together and work together to prove that the Buddha really existed. But the best evidence is to practice the teachings of the Buddha, to become a better person, to become a person that is truly human, has realized his true potential as a human being, where we have been born for as a human being. This is what we can call the best evidence of having understood what the teachings of the Buddha are like, and having understood that, we understand that the Buddha had really lived. Because if he had not really lived, then how would we be able to see these teachings and benefit from these teachings to this extent? It's quite obvious for anyone who practices that the teachings of the Buddha are quite correct. They have a lot of unity in the teachings, a lot of reason, a lot of good cause and effect explanation in these Buddhist teachings. So when you practice, you understand that in fact the best evidence you can find that the Buddha really existed is by practicing his teachings and noticing how it benefits your life.